Heaven bless him. Always. You're a very lucky girl. Usually at this time they have my bed all made up and the place is in order, but I think today that particular girl is off, so they'll send somebody in a little later. But as a rule, I get things fixed up pretty much before they come in. They have so much to do, but this one person, she was in yesterday, and by 9 o'clock I came back from breakfast and things were in perfect order. But after all, you know, look, I wish there's a chair over there, Michael. Don't you want to?
How about tell us about how when you left Romania again? This wasn't.
Push it over for yourself.
And Sadie, but when the family left Romania, can you repeat that story? That the sound wasn't working.
About the Romanian family?
Yeah.
Well, they were given orders. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
To get out by the next day. They gave them 1 day's notice.
I mean, the Russians had taken over there?
Russia took over Romania. And just slide it over.
Excuse me now.
Get to a side, Leon. You don't have to lift it. Just.
Yeah, I don't think it would have fit.
Slide it over. Just slide it over.
I'll do it now.
That's it.
Come on.
Well, anyway, to get back to
Romania.
They were ordered out and given 1 day's notice. And my grandmother, of course, there were many children, and the youngest one, a little boy, had some shoes that were left behind, you know, by mistake or whatever, and so he went without shoes, got into one of these what would you call it, wagons or whatever, and wherever they went, of course by that time, as I said, I was a very impatient child. I didn't. Now Aunt Goldie, you know, might be able to tell you more, because she was interested in Jewishness and all that. And I'm sad to say I didn't have much patience. I listened for a little while when she said this. She said, "Dankshire Subble." She told me about the needle that was refused, you know, when she wanted to mend some of the things to be on her way. I guess something's needed repairing or something. And the neighbor refused. Now, whether the neighbor was forbidden to have any doings with her, but they did have a mill, and they
had a mill?
Really in very high position. In fact, when a wedding was given,
who had the mill?
My grandmother's husband. They had a mill that supplied the country with whatever they ground. I guess the mill really went by water power.
Yeah.
And
you say your grandmother's husband, what was that, a second husband?
Oh,
or your grandfather?
no, that was her first husband.
Well, then your grandfather.
There was some kind of relationship where there was pretty close marriage there, but
yeah, but still he was your grandfather then.
No, this grandmother and grandfather, that is my father's mother and father.
Yeah.
They stayed together until my grandmother survived him, and when she was over in Romania, if she was given a wedding invitation, a band came below her residence, you know, and serenaded her, you know, out of respect. She was like royalty there, and but of course it came to an awful sad ending when the Tsar took over, and as I said, they had to leave. And then my grandmother had a very sad ending. When they came here, they landed in New York, a big group of them, and still things went pretty well with her. And then she landed in Philadelphia, and we always called her the Baba from New York, because I had another grandmother, my mother's mother, and she was a little thing, you know, but my father's mother was a tall, stately person. And she landed here somehow or other. I guess most of the children came to Philadelphia from New York. So she landed here, and whenever we referred to distinguish between the the mother's, what do they say, the mother's mother and the father's mother, we would say the Baba from New York. So that's as much as I can say. But I did have as I told you, Leon, there was a cousin of mine who was in Philadelphia, and she had to go to New York to stay with her daughter because she came very disabled. And she really could have told me the whole history. They notified me that she was moved to New York, and I wrote her a letter and told her, but I didn't get any answer. I don't even know whether she's... I imagine her daughter would have written me, because the daughter was the one that told me that she was in New York, and they had to, sad to say, to put her in a nursing home. So I wish I could have said more, but I was that kind of a person. I was very impatient as a child.
What were your grandparents' names?
Well, of course, my father's people were Seagulls. You see,
Right, yeah.
Seagulls. Now, my mother's people were Kinderman. And some, there are Kindermans here that are, what do they say, well, they're descendants of my mother's family. There are some here, but I don't imagine they could give you any information. Nope. And they were very successful. Leon, you should have known the Kindermans.
I met some of them. In fact, one was next door to us down the shore for one summer.
Well, now, one of them is a very good friend of May's that lives in May's apartment.
Right, right.
That is, she married into the
Kinderman family.
She married Bernie,
yeah.
And he died. He had a brother, Israel, the two boys, you know. Now, my Uncle John was my mother's brother. He was a Kinderman. Now what?
Hurting your...
That's what Michael will take it back.
Okay, go on.
Well, what'll I say from there on? What was I up to?
Your Uncle John?
Well, my Uncle John Kinderman was my mother's brother. And he had these two sons, Bernie, and they used to call him Srul, which is Israel. Jewish first, Israel. Now, both of them are deceased. And this Bernie was the brains of the business. But Israel, whether you want to take a note of that or not, well, they all profited from this Bernie. Bernie was the younger of the two.
But wasn't there some of the family like named Bartak or Barsak?
Oh, no, Barmak?
Barmak,
no,
yes.
No, that was my father's sister who married a man by the name of Barmak.
We have a pharmacy or something?
No, he had a dry goods store, very well respected, second in the South, and he bought the finest thing and had a pretty good trade. They knew they could depend on him. Now, they had four children, 2 boys and 2 girls. Now, the one, Tilly Barmak, was quite a successful teacher at the Settlement Music School. She was a vocalist, and she sang in operas, gave recitals and all. And the other one married a Dr. Cahan, Hilda was her older sister. Now, they have issue there, but I never met them. You know, the family is sort of multiplied, what'll I say, just like your place.
Now I know a dentist by the name of Herbie Cahan. He's down the shore. He's originally from here.
I think, wait a minute, it might have been a nephew or a brother of his.
I'll have to ask him next time if he remembers the Barmak. He may be related to Bernice.
His first name was, he was a high-placed doctor. In fact, we had Dave under his care. He was a heart specialist, this Dr. Cahan. What was his first name? I just can't think of it right now. But he spelled it Cahan. And what what else can I say about them? Well, of course, all four of them. There were two boys, two Barmack boys and two Barmack girls, and they're gone.
How about, you had well, I know Bernice had, maybe you had an uncle who was quite old, who was trying to think of his name.
Old? An uncle?
Yeah, he was one of the last ones.
A Mendel.
A real good-looking guy who was
he was the brains of our business. He went to San Francisco. He was a salesman for the...
what was his name?
Mandel Siegel. And he... in fact, he visited me at Park Drive.
Was that your father's brother?
Oh, yeah, that was my father's young... That was the one that lost his shoes. That was the baby brother.
Well,
you know...
What you said... Who was your father's that lived when they came over here and lived? What were their names?
My father's what?
Brothers and sisters.
Oh, each one of their names?
Yeah.
Well, Mrs. Barmack was Rivka or Rebecca or whatever. And then there was an Aunt Bertha. And Bernice is named from her.
Yeah, these were all Siegels then. They were all Siegels.
Yes. Yes. And she was my favorite aunt, and the poor soul died a week before I was married. It put a cloud over my wedding because, well, there's so much to say that. Then you want to know the names of others?
Yeah.
That was...
They all fit the family tree.
That'll be something to see, I'll bet.
Michael and Richard can work.
Now I mentioned Rivka, but if you want to mention them in the order of their ages, it should be the oldest one, I think, was... Then there were a couple that died, you know. Of course, as I told you, my Aunt Bertha died. She was my father's sister. There was Rivka that lived a while after that. And there was... who did I mention? The youngest one. The youngest one was Mendel as a boy. There was a girl, Molly, that died she lived to the age of 90 or more, and she stayed in New York. She came to Philadelphia, but they went back to
New York.
To New York. And her husband was what you would call a communist. He called himself a socialist. And quite a man. Now, his... now, let me... this was... the person that I mentioned that is over New York and I haven't heard from, married this... what's her... see, now they're over in New York, and there are issue really of who would you call it? Molly's. If I had a little more time, I could tell you some of them are over in New York right now.
Maybe sometime you have a little time, you'll make up a sheet.
Well, I have made a lot of notes of other things, you know, but if you're really interested, maybe I can write a more, orderly sort of...
we can add it to this afterwards.
I could perhaps put it in...
chronological.
Exactly.
You don't have to know the names of your great-grandparents at all. I know they probably never came to this country.
Well, no, I wouldn't know them at all. I'll tell you what, you know, you saw the family picture, didn't you?
Yeah.
But we had two, those were sort of miniatures, let's say. But I wonder who got somebody must have them. I have an idea Geraldine has them because her father was the eldest in our family. And whether they kept those pictures or not, I wouldn't. But if I ever get a chance, I'd like to know because when we got out of 7th Street, went to Logan. I don't even think we kept the pictures then. Then my father was given an honor as a Mason. Oh, I'll never forget his funeral. What a funeral they gave him. the Mason brothers came over, and they something like that, and that came to an end too. But I don't miss that one bit. That's a thing of the past, and I'm trying to just consider it that way, that nothing lasts forever, and I had 26 years of it, and I understand that Richard wants the piano. I'm glad he's going to get it.
Yeah.
I know he won't make a mistake, as I told who was it? Elaine thought she'd want it for Courtney, and I told her that from what I understand, the piano would have been near a window, and the piano shouldn't be near a draft or heat.
Right.
Or light.
So
Or light too.
I discouraged her from taking it, and then I didn't even know whether Richard wanted it. I didn't know that. I said, look, I hope this isn't going down. Not that.
Aim it in this direction. Look
No,
away.
this is fine now.
Great. Go on.
Well, what else shall I say? I should ask more about you folks.
We're fine.
You enjoying your home?
Yeah.
I was a little disturbed the time I heard that you came back and found your TV gone,
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, that was.
Yes, but that was alarming, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had broken the glass sliding doors. But that was Uncle. That was the only.
Did you
time
have
that had a
Did you
problem.
have Keith then? Did you have?
I don't remember. It was.
Yes,
I don't
yes,
think,
yes.
Was he born already?
I was shocked. I thought, now look at
He
that
must have been
girl.
very young. It was about 6 years. I bet he was an infant. Keith was an infant then.
Hmm.
I think. Yeah, those things happen. That was
He
the only
probably wasn't born
problem
at the
we had.
time.
You have to just. Well, I had that occasion on the boulevard that I had my solitaire, which I didn't wear all the time, and I put it back in the bookcase. I had on the second floor. We had quite a big house on the boulevard, and one night we came home, and my husband, Uncle Dave, he put a coat down off on the first floor. I was in my Sunday clothes, and he was going to wear those the next day, going into business. But I had, as they used to do in those days, I went upstairs to take my Sunday go-to-meeting, as you say, coat. And when I come up there, all the drawers, as you see there, were out. And I got so shocked. I don't know how I got down the stairs. He was still putting his coat in the hall closet or the dining room closet. I said, Dave, we've been robbed. Well, the first thing, I went up and looked for that ring, which I didn't wear everywhere, and sure enough, it was there in the back of the books. Well, I got that out, but we didn't stay in that house that night. We were close to 12th Street. So I went over to 12th Street and sat up on a chair like this the whole night, and we had a sofa there, and he slept there on that. That was the way.
Michael, 12th Street is where her folks lived at that time.
Yeah, well, we really lived a longer while on 7th Street, 7th and Thompson.
Yeah, but that's before you moved to Logan.
When I went to Logan, of course, then Goldie followed me to Logan, and so did my folks. Went up to. We all were on 9th Street. Then Goldie went to Elkins Park, and I stayed there and went to the Boulevard. Sad to say, because he did everything to please me in that house, but the traffic gave me a nervous breakdown. Then we were relieved from there by having to go to Statesville. Whether I would like the boulevard or not, the unions got after him. So he got this person he dealt with, took him, invited him to Statesville.
That's in North Carolina.
Yeah, in North Carolina. So that way I got away from, and then...
The heavy traffic, huh?
Well, so with that, Statesville, I'll never forget when we left Statesville. the reason we left, he got his first heart attack there, or his first illness, and it was diagnosed heart. So he got a buyer for the place. And the strangest thing that happened here, right in the building, if I can go off on this, sure enough, I get a partner in the dining room whose husband...
Oh, you mean down here right now?
Right, yeah. Whose husband invented the, what do you call it, jacquard. Jacquard knit sweaters.
Yep.
He invented that, and Dave bought one of those machines, and I said to him, and in those days it was $20,000. I said, Dave, for heaven's sake, you're putting your money into all that. And, well, he says, that's what they're showing. I can't sell merchandise without that. Now, this woman's husband invented the jacquard machine.
Small world.
She also was married by the same rabbi I was married, K.I. Can you imagine a circumstantial thing like that? So the two of us are partners at the most choice seat in the dining room right now. We get the sun, and it really, so the two of us, but she's on an age and she's pretty much disabled. But I'm overlooking all that. I saw that stuff with my brother, Sadie, who was in a nursing home. And I saw most of that stuff, so... and as I say, I have the door shut all the time, and I'm not annoyed by that one bit. And there's so much to distract me here. So grateful for that I'm interested in. You saw I was listening to something here. And, well, now what else I say, but how do you like that for something? She was married by Krauskopf, and so was I. She came from the same synagogue. See, my father, when we were on 7th Street, he joined KI because the place he went to, the congregation was very disordered. You know, they'd chime in and things like that. They'd bring children, whereas at KI, they had beautiful music, and he understood, the services.
It was reformed, that's the reason.
Reformed, yes, but today, Tilly Barmack that I was talking to you about before, she was asked to join their choir, which was quite an honor, but after a while, they threw them all out. They're not so reformed today. They're more in between Orthodox and Reformed. They're
more like conservative.
Yes, it's another story with them. But she got a beautiful salary there because the kind of congregation he had, Snellenberg, all those people, very wealthy congregation. And Dr. Krauskopf, when the Depression hit my father, as a lot of people, Dr. Krauskopf came to his rescue. My father would have lost 7th Street, according to what Ben tells me, that he would have lost 7th Street, but Dr. Krauskopf put in a word to some big shot, so my father retained 7th Street. And later on, of course, sold it. I tell you, when I think of what those folk went through, they were soldiers. I guess they had no alternative.
Who was it? What presidents do you remember?
That was in the presidency of, let me see, it would have been before Johnson, I guess. Who came before Johnson?
What you're talking about is probably way before Roosevelt yet. Not Johnson. Johnson is...
Wait a minute.
Your father had passed away way before Johnson was president.
I guess so. Do you remember coming to see him in Leon when I said, well, shall I put him in the hospital? And you said, oh, no, he's better off here. I remember as I said, look... well, anyway, he only lasted a week, but toward the last, we had a night nurse for him, a male who was studying to be a male nurse, and he studied all night. And I said, well, can't we feed him something? So the male nurse says, no, he'll choke. But 2 nights before he died, a colored woman came in, and she had a little bowl of soup there, and she spoke to him in a low voice, and she gave him spoonfuls. And I often think if we would have only got her in the beginning, of course, this male nurse, he went on studying. I would look in, in the middle of the night, and no, he'll choke if we try to feed him anything. But she got a few spoonsful down. There again, Siggy was the one that heard him when he took this, when he got this stroke. He was able to call out, and Siggy did night work then, and he was sleeping during the day. But when he went to the bathroom, he heard my father, and he came down and found him on the floor. Then we got this Dr. Brown. Did you know Dr. Brown on...
I remember the name, on 9th Street there.
No, he was on 12th Street, right across our house on 12th Street. That is my mother's and father's house. So Siggy ran out, just put a bathrobe on, and happened to get him. And the 2 of them lifted my father up to the bedroom, took him up because he was on the kitchen floor. I happened not to be in, but when I came back, I found them all on the porch. Sam Diamond was on the porch, and I thought, what goes here? And of course they said to me, I came back about, where I went, I don't know, it must have been on an errand of some kind, and they were congregated there on the porch, and they told me that of course, he had high blood pressure for a while, and he also told me one day, he says, I lost the sight of one eye. So I says, well, a lot of people get along with one eye. I told him that, and he did. But this past incident, as I said, when he was being treated by this Dr. Brown.
For high blood pressure.
High blood pressure, very high blood pressure, and that's, I suppose, how he lost that one eye. But even the doctor told me, well, he can get along with one eye. And then I remember you being up in the bedroom. You came up to see him, and I said, shall we send him to the hospital? And you said no. He said, he's better off here. They have so much to do there. It'd be nothing to them, and who knows? But of course, coming back to Siggy today, I will say that things are done for him. When he got his stroke, they called me at Park Drive, and they wanted me in to find out the extent of that stroke, to find out if he would know me, you see. And, I got the shock of my life. He was ready to come out of there. You know that, Leon. He had these 3 operations there.
Right.
You were the one that gave me the report of how things were going. Well, sure enough, I get this phone call from them, and they told me Siggy has had a stroke, and could I get there? In the meantime, Marty, he was supposed to take me to see Siggy that day, and I got a phone call from him saying, I'll be delayed a little bit. I said, I just got a phone call, and it was pouring rain that day. It was the worst kind of weather. And I said, I just got a phone call from Einstein that Siggy got a stroke. He's coming right away. So what would have delayed him, he stopped and he came out after me. And the 2 of them, they had just brought him up from examination or something. And I spoke to him. I says, Siggy, how are you? I says, now who am I? He whispered the name Sadie. But whether he knew Marty or not, I don't know. He didn't say his name. And that was the last word he ever said distinctly. Later on, they've been working at him, and as you know, they found they couldn't do more. And then, and I'm telling what your dad went through. It's a sad thing to say, but he selected the cemetery for him. Things like that, you know, are... you remember doing that, Lynn?
Yeah, I remember where we went. We went to Roseville first, and we went to one out where Dave is buried.
Well, anyway, we arranged all that. There was some money there, and we felt, let's have that. In the meantime, it's been 2 years that he's, or more, and whether it's better that he lives like this or not, but anyway, your daddy has fixed so much, he's done so much for us. I don't know what we would have done without Marty, Elaine, Daddy, and your mother's Bernice. I'm all morale myself. And look, the baby. Does he sleep pretty much?
He's sleeping pretty well.
Only when you're talking.
Boredom. How about the nights?
Pretty good. He's pretty good. Much better than Keith was. Not too bad.
Oh, he's a handsome. Is Keith as handsome as he is?
No, Keith is ugly.
Oh, he might have
Keith
been a
really is
girl.
handsome.
Look at those blue eyes. Who does he get the blue eyes from?
My father, I think. My father is blue eyes.
He's heavy.
He is heavy.
Really, I always hold him here. That's all. I've always held babies there.
Sadie.
Oh, look at there. He's looking at you. Oh, he's going to cry.
Great aunt? Great.
I think, oh, he wants you. It looks like.
I think it's because he just woke
Just
up.
woke up.
Yeah, because I woke him up, really. Hi.
Might have been a girl.
He is good.
He'll be a heartbreaker.
Yeah, my older son's really
No,
good.
I think
Very good looking.
he realizes he's a smarty. You better take him.
That's because he just woke up.
Well, of all things.
Hello.
See, now there's a
Don't
difference.
stand up.
No, you won't push him, Michael. Don't push him. Let nature take its course. I mean, for
Nature says stand up. Well, nature
now
will
he's
say
looking.
that.
Now he's looking at me. Hello there.
Who's that?
Hello, Brett. You'd be a heartbreaker.
He's thirsty.
I think we awakened him, didn't we?
I did.
Is he ready for
He's always
drink?
ready.
I'll give Jordy something to do.
He's always ready.
So have you ever see anybody famous in your life?
Oh, well, of
I mean-
course, it's Tilly Barbank made her mark in music, but I won't. By the way, I think they have there's a phone for me. I think they have what would you call it, some memoriam for her. I hope it's not a hodgepodge, but I told them when I get around to a
Got the
little
green light?
leisure, I'm going to write something in better order. Sure, just a minute. Bernice is on the phone, Leon. She wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry this room isn't in order, but as I told you,
We really
usually,
don't care less.
you'd be surprised, usually it is made by 9 in the morning.
Thank you for the toaster oven.
Oh, well, no.
I used
No
it
thanks.
this morning.
This thing's
No, I really needed it.
Did you get that piece that is for baking?
Yes, thank you. No, I really needed it too.
Well, because that was separated.
No, we got it. We did.
I was, I warned them about that.
No, it works very well. It really does.
You got two
Oh, he
numbers.
was. Does he take any water after that?
576.
You know, I have meant to ask him, originally when he was first
9944.
born, they said only water that was boiled.
9944.
So I have to ask. I don't think it tastes the same. He really
Yeah,
likes to drink.
576.
I think the water here is pretty good.
So I have to check to see if you can have just plain
8745.
tap water now.
Oh, I tell you. Why, oh,
And
why?
sometimes he gets some cereal
Yeah.
too.
Okay. Can you manage pretty well? Now, hi there. Oh, he's so alert.
Yeah, he is.
Hello,
Watch out with the camera.
Brett. Hello, you want to come to me? Let's see if you'll come to me. Just see.
He's heavy. He's heavy. Are you sure?
Now wait.
Sit down. It's a good
Oh, I
idea.
wouldn't for the world
He's-
drop him.
He's heavy.
I want to
Really
see
is
if
good.
I'm going to see if he'll cry again. Look at him turning around. Hello. Hello. Oh, I get a smile now.
Hey, come on.
Pretty soon you'll be making like you do with their, what's her name, Jamie. You'll be rolling on the floor with them, huh?
Oh, we had a nice parade yesterday with Jamie.
He's looking at me as to say, who in the heck are you?
Who are you?
Well, perhaps.
Well, I like to hold their heads. Whistle again, Leon,
Yeah,
see if he...
I'm going to get
whistle.
behind you a second.
Well, he's looking as if to say they think I'm an imbecile or something.
Hey, let's have a smile. Let's have a smile. Hi.
Okay.
Come on. Don't be such a poker face.
He's following you.
So you remember when any inventions?
What time do you have to get up in the morning? Does he wake you?
Usually it depends. This morning actually he went back to sleep, but then I had to get up
Look
to
at
get
that.
ready to take my
Look,
other
he's
son.
taking to me now.
He'll
Look.
probably eat your sweater. That's what he wants to do. Oh, your glasses. Probably wants to take your glasses off. He's very frisky.
Mm.
He's frisky.
Does he go to his daddy as well as to you?
Yeah.
Not quite.
And you're awfully careful about Brett not being rough with him.
And Keith, yeah,
Keith being
I
rude,
am. Keith likes me though.
We're trying
He can
to keep
be a
careful,
little rough.
stop Brett from hurting Keith.
Yeah, that's
Have
true.
him?
Yeah, yeah. But true, he has a tendency to pull hair. Brett, he says.
Pachi Pachi Kichaluch. Do you remember that?
And Bon Bon Boots.
He's too young for that. Look at there. That's what you should take a picture of him.
I am. But I see him all the time. Get a little tired of him.
I should have taken a picture of him Sadie holding him.
Yes, it would have been nice.
Yeah, I can still do it.
You can do it off the TV screen.
Yeah, sounds good.
You don't remember what city in Romania they were from?
Wait a minute. No, I remember that my father used to kid my mother about her coming from Görlitz. My mother came from Austria, more or less, on
Yeah,
the border of
Galicia.
Poland.
Galicia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well,
he
my
would
father
kid
came
her
from-
about it because, but his Görlitz, I think it was his name. No, it wouldn't be Görlitz. It sounds too much like.
How about I want you to hold him again. I want to take a picture of you that I'll be able to give you a copy of.
Oh, I get a beautiful smile.
And Sadie,
Does he have any,
Georgie, give him.
They want to take
Give
a
him
picture.
back.
I want to take a picture of you holding
do
him.
you have any, does he play with any toys?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I have a rattle and stuff.
That's good. Look up a bit. And say, look up a bit. Beautiful shot. Okay. Yeah, hold it that way. It's good for another one. The way he's looking, since I get enough light here. All right, all right. That's a good picture, so. Oh, he's staring at it.
What a beautiful baby, really.
Yeah, we don't have any ugly ones.
He's got sharp nails.
Like,
Maybe he's after my glasses, you think?
Yes.
Why I got him, I won't. You want to go back to Mama, do you?
I'm ready up. I'm ready to do the tail.
Gotta feed him.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Oh.
Does he have a little, what would you call it, what do you call them, tiny go-karts?
No, she's
No, not yet. Not
too
yet.
young for that.
Did you save any of Brett's things?
Keith thinks a few things, not too much. Not too much. It was a while ago.
I mean, Keith.
Yeah. Because Keith is already 6, so it was
Oh, look at that
Oh.
smile. Don't miss that, Leon. Don't miss that.
you did. Hi.
He has your nose, doesn't he?
I don't know. I can't figure out who he looks
She got
like.
too close and gone.
I can't figure out who he looks like.
Do you have any pictures of Brett with you?
Keith, I don't think so. I don't know about
Of Keith,
pictures.
I mean, of Keith.
Hi, Miss
Hi.
Karr.
Time for lunch? Okay.
Lunchtime.
Yeah, it's time for us to go.
Yeah. It's terrible. I don't think I can remember any pictures.
Yes,
And I had one, and I think I took it out of my wallet.
I'm sorry they called me. I don't have to be down that.
No,
Let me
all right.
see.
We have to go anyway.
We may stop
really.
and see your sister.
Well, yes,
Stop
it's
for a few
12.
minutes
No,
to
I
see
can
you.
wait a little bit.
Granny.
I'll tell you, I am so full of breakfast. But I tell you, another thing, I'm so glad I bore up with you folks because I was disturbed about Mother had a very bad time last night.
Have to get a picture.
Well,
No, I don't have any pictures.
Well, they decided
I wanted to see Brett.
her blood count was down.
Oh, boy, you're not going to be able to carry. Oh, my goodness.
No, I let Michael carry that.
I have to stop.
I don't normally carry that much, but I didn't know how long we were going to be gone, what else we would be doing.
I
so
have
I
to
really...
stop and see Eileen here to see if she'll take your chair.
Somebody told me they were working on it.
Yeah, I know. They want $20 to $25. You know, that chair you have at your place that was for Medicare.
Oh, you mean there?
Yeah.
Yes, what about that?
Well, if they want it, they can have it. Of course, if they'll pay for the delivery of charge of $20, $25. The company went out of business.
I still don't get what you're
The
saying.
company went out of business.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So the chair is there to be thrown out or whatever. So Bernice spoke to them. And if they
People
want...
here?
Yeah. And
Well,
if they want...
I wouldn't, I don't like the chair. They're going to give me, you know what they're going to give me? Another chair like that.
I'm not talking about that. Maybe they'll use that chair for some other patient or something that needs to be lifted up and down.
You spoke to the people here about
Yeah,
it?
I got to speak to her now and tell her this Eileen.
Well, would they pay for the delivery and
That's
everything
right. If
here?
they want to pay for the delivery, they can have it. It costs $20, $25 to deliver it.
Well, Leon, you seem to have a straight head. I'm really unable to maneuver anything like that.
Okay. Let me over here. Can I just...
Charging $80 to deliver the piano.
You know, the nurse that worked with Barbara said her grandmother got that chair, bought a chair like it. It was $400.
Sure.
But I was thinking maybe the person will give us that it's buying the things at our place, you know. Elaine said she would talk to her about buying that. I think that would be less complicated.
I thought they spoke about it and she wanted $20 to deliver it.
No, I wouldn't. I tell you what,
This has been arranged already.
Oh, it has?
Yeah. That's why I know the lady's name, Eileen.
Uh-huh.
You don't mind that I'm laying in here, do you?
But they about here, they will bring me another chair like
This has
that.
nothing to do with your own chairs.
Well, whatever you think
That's
is...
what they said. I mean, Bernice. You still taking?
Yeah. Well, it's better than nothing.
I hope you don't mind my using your...
No, that pillow is really clean. I never use that pillow.
Well, it's not clean anymore.
About that. I'm worried it won't be clean for you.
Oh, don't you worry about that. We're concerned about the baby.
Do you have any stories to
these
say?
your,
Quick.
I know things are...
These are your boots.
Yeah, okay. Whether I'll use those or not, but I can always...
I expect you to. I expect you one of these days to take you to see
Well, I'll
Sadie.
tell you can always throw them away or give them away, the way I look at it. I have plenty of room.
Where do you want me to put it? In your closet?
Yeah. I'll put in... I brought an umbrella from there because I've been going out, believe it or not.
I believe it. That's what I'm saying. We expect you to go to see Siggy maybe in a week or so.
Well, I have a little umbrella up here too.
Yeah.
That well, Elaine said, well, what do you want with an umbrella? I says, well, I might take a little walk in the front just to
So one
keep...
of the people here just drove up. Okay?
Okay.
All right, turn it off.
Well, I'm okay.
Let me see. I don't have to really hurry down there, but I'll see you out
You have to
anyway.
go anyway, really.
I'll see you out anyway.
Right.
But as a rule, as I say, this is all fixed up by 9 in the morning.
No, I can take that. No, I think Michael's going to have to take it.
Okay.
I'm just going to carry that and still
You need a
take
lot of
pictures.
equipment.
Oh, this is too much for you. Oh,
Gonna give it
heavens,
to Mike.
somebody take
There you
that.
go.
Will you stop it? I need you talking on this.
Well,
Anything else I missed?
This is a little day. You guys trying to...
you just had some milk there.
They like to chew on everything. Oh,
Yes.
everything.
Well,
I'll hold the button down.
This is it. Hi there, Rosie.
Hi.
How do you
The
like
button
my
press.
company?
Little girl or boy? Can't tell these days. I know.
Now,
Don't you think
where would Eileen be?
Don't you think he's handsome enough?
Right here.
Right here.
Huh?
I say, don't you think he's handsome enough to be a girl?
I can't tell. He's cute.
No, she should have had a blue snowsuit. Then we'd know.
Pretty high. Pretty high. He's taller than your mama. He's big. He's big. He's big.
Well, goodbye and thank you
Bye,
very
it's
much.
nice seeing you.
I'm going to try to think up something. I really, there is more to say, but I don't know whether it'll do you any good.
Oh, it's always nice to hear something.
Something to do, huh? Well, Georgia, this was a treat for me.
Oh, I'm glad I got to see you.
Well, sit down there. Is Leon coming out now?
Yeah. I don't want to keep you from too much.
We'll see you.
Thanks
I'm
again.
sure we'll be back.
See, I have that.
I'd like to come
I'll
back
tell you
sometime.
the table.
Enjoy your meal.
It's
for the fish. Sadie wouldn't like the fish.
There, but I
No, keep it.
She isn't there, but I have a choice table. I'll show you where I
Dinner. What's he say? Fish. Remember that. Not pressing.
Let's go. Turn it off now.
What's the sense of going out here?
Here, keep your jacket.
I can turn it off anytime I want.
Just put it down and take the coat.
Yeah, take the bag. I don't want to drop the bag. Yeah.
Want to spend a few minutes to stop the train? On the way back?
Well,
It's up to you, Pete.
it's up to Georgia. Georgia wants.
Yeah, I guess we can. I mean, what time
Only
is
a
it?
few
It must be
minutes.
early.
Not long.
She's not up to it.
Right.
Well, okay. But we were right by there.
Yeah.
All right. So we can. It can't be too.
Oh,
Oh, you wanted to